Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? This is the most must-see WWE superstar of all time and his lovely, gorgeous wife,
Marie.
and you are going in SmackDown Live. Who needs Raw?
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you are watching Going In Raw.
Oh, baby, I like it Raw. Oh, baby, I like it Raw. And you are tuned in to Going In Raw right now. How you doing?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
I'm the James Ellis of the group. Yay!
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson.
Yeah.
We're also available where fine podcasts are, including iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, all that kind of stuff. I want to say thanks to everybody out there hitting the download and subscribe button. And we've got a lot of Goldberg talk today.
We do.
Because, oh my gosh, as evidenced by the 50,000 people who witnessed our live stream reactions, I was stunned. Like I was like, what the hell is going on here? Because I checked the real-time analytics on YouTube, and all of a sudden, like within an hour or maybe 2 hours after the podcast,
it was pretty quick.
It was at 45,000. It's tapered. It's tapered off since then. It's like at 55 right now.
Yeah.
But like, I had no idea that many people were interested in watching our cartoonish reaction to Goldberg just
hilarious.
decimating Brock Lesnar within a couple minutes. Within 2 minutes.
Yeah. You can have a really weird time graph. You know, like you can check the graphs of like how, like what time people watch. You
Yeah.
can have like just a standard thing, and then at the end it just goes blip at the end.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
shoots up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta see. I gotta dig in deeper
To those analytics.
to the analytics and see what people are doing. So yeah, it was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. But right before, like within about an hour or two before, the betting odds shot through the roof for Goldberg.
Yeah.
So, and then afterwards, it was announced that, or not announced, but it leaked out, or there was a news
Pro
report.
Wrestling Sheet said that Goldberg had signed on to do additional dates.
Right. So
he's
it looks
doing
like
more shows.
He looks like he's going to do the Rumble and Mania. So I guess we can speculate. You know, we'll start from the end and go backwards. We can speculate. So the Rumble and probably Mania, he'll show up at a couple Raws, but I imagine he'll probably only actually fight a small handful of times, 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
2 to 3 more times. I would speculate too. I'd say Rumble and Mania.
Yeah.
And then maybe his option to come back at SummerSlam.
Maybe.
But even with that being said, number one, did Lesnar get a pay bump? Let's go through all this. Number one, did Lesnar get a massive pay bump to do this?
Well,
does Lesnar care? Is he like, look, you're giving me $2 million for this anyways. I'm just going to take it.
On one of the articles that popped up either late last night or early this morning about that match, it said somewhere that Lesnar thought this feud was money. So if he's not getting a massive payday, or if he didn't get a massive payday yesterday, I'm guessing he anticipates one for their next match, which I guess would be at the Rumble.
So that leads to number two. Even if they fight again, the best they can do is Lesnar being down to Goldberg 2-1.
I know.
I don't see. I mean,
In terms of the impact of this match on various storylines,
yeah.
Okay, let's go back a little bit. Lesnar beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He owned the streak.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then my guess was they did that so when Reigns beat him at WrestleMania 31,
Yeah.
it would put Reigns super over.
Yeah.
That's been my guess the whole time. When that didn't happen, then I don't know if they thought that Lesnar owning the streak really had any value anymore, since they didn't cash it in the way they wanted to.
Right.
You know, because they wanted Reigns to have that rub.
Yeah.
And when that didn't happen, maybe they thought, okay, well, that plan didn't work. So, I mean, they still could have very easily set up a match somewhere between WrestleMania 31 and SummerSlam for if they thought this Goldberg match was going to happen. And granted, I don't know if this, according to the dirt sheets, this finish was only decided when Goldberg agreed to do more shows.
Right.
So, granted, they can't have anticipated everything, but it just would have made so much more sense to have Lesnar lose to someone on the full-time roster before this.
They have two guys.
So someone could have got that
They
rub.
have two guys right now coming up from NXT that would make so much more sense to take the streak than Bill Goldberg, and that's Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe. Those two guys make all the sense in the world.
There's competitors on the main roster now. Kevin Owens makes
Finn
sense.
Balor makes all the sense in the world.
Even Seth Rollins makes sense.
Even Seth Rollins might make the most sense of all because he's younger. He's a company guy. That makes now he's a face. That makes all the sense in the world. I still say Shinsuke. I know Shinsuke isn't young, but I still say that Shinsuke Nakamura is going to be, in my opinion, he's going to be the biggest of them all. He has that mystique.
Yeah, he does.
Maybe he doesn't have necessarily the promo skill, but I think everything he is outweighs what he is on the mic, or everything else rather. And I think what did I say before? I said alien trumps monster. And I think Shinsuke is that alien type guy who's so oddball, who's so weird, who's so rock star that he could take the streak from Lesnar because he's the only guy I think they have that isn't necessarily mortal. And I think Samoa Joe's up there too, but he's the only, and Finn Balor, he has the demon thing. But I think Shinsuke Nakamura just is inherently a guy that you can't relate to because he's so cool. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of guy who should take it from Lesnar.
Oh, agreed, yeah.
Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg. Dan, were you watching live?
Yeah. Yeah, I was.
Now, Dan, we know Dan likes likes logic in wrestling for some odd reason.
Yes.
So take us through. How have you been able to digest this ever since it happened?
I've worked out what the reason is of why I like logic in wrestling. And it's because when I started watching wrestling, there was logic. Because when I started watching wrestling, it was Daniel Bryan. And Daniel Bryan's story was a logical, well-told story. And since then, I've expected that from it.
Yeah.
Like Daniel Bryan going up against the Authority and then gradually getting to that WrestleMania where he wins the two matches is a really well-told, solid, single story that took like a year and a half to tell.
Right.
And it's entirely filled with logic if you ignore the Wyatt family bit.
Yeah.
But that's kind of that's where I started wrestling. I started with that sort of thing, and then it's just kind of like, what to do? Let's just do whatever. So I kind of logically, you could argue that Brock was like too cocky, but it's still like Brock doesn't go down from like a single spear. We know this. Like he would have got up and gone, "Oh, I should murder you now."
There's two lines. I think there's two lines of logic here. I think there's the Dan logic, which is the Daniel Bryan thing, where it's kind of actual real world logic, but then there is the video game logic of how Hulk Hogan, for example, was able not only to topple Andre the Giant, but in 1998, that Hulk Hogan, he was still a top guy dominating everybody, and it's like we all knew that it was creative control clause, but at the same time, the backstage machinations sort of has a lot to do with your power rankings as well.
Yes.
Like how big of a draw you are has to do with your power rankings.
Yes.
And Bill Goldberg is, for whatever reason, and you can say, no, he's not. Yes, he is. He's a massive draw.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the numbers are Survivor Series, but we've seen on Raw, he's been able to affect the ratings. And so Bill Goldberg, who's the guy who has all this sort of backstory, and it's like we can ignore the fact that he's 49 because he doesn't look 49.
Yeah, he was in great shape.
If he dyes his beard, then he's definitely not 49. He's in amazing shape.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
He literally looks the same as he did back then.
Yeah.
And so he's got the power ranking thing going for him. So I think in that realm, I mean, it's like The Undertaker has the powers of the darkness, but then, he can punch people in the dick and get wins that way when that doesn't work from when Lesnar eats his powers of the darkness. So there's like so many, that's the thing that's great about wrestling is that there's so many different lines of logic that crisscross, and then you have to figure them out when something like that happens last night.
Yeah.
For it to sort of make sense. I mean, sometimes it doesn't and sometimes it does.
Well, I think if you look at what happened in the Lesnar-Goldberg match as WWE taking advantage of an option that will increase in the short term visibility, potentially their money making potential. Over a long term story, it makes perfect sense why they did it.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, it's just. I think
I'm
that's
really
what it
annoyed
is.
he's a pre-order bonus though. Like anybody trying to buy the game, going, "I'm going to recreate this fight now," can't actually do that because Goldberg's a pre-order bonus.
Oh, they
That really annoys
you
me.
can
Lesnar
you
was
can
taken out
download
by
now. He's
fucking
DLC.
Pre-order bonus.
Yeah, $20, and you get him and all the NXT people. I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck trying to how can you actually recreate this match though? Like because
in the game?
Lesnar is so jacked up in the
I
game.
know
though.
you can't recreate that match in the game.
I think you can do any match in 85 seconds.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you can either. It's,
No.
not, it's not like it was. That again, the glory of those old N64 games.
Yeah.
When you can come out of the corners and base hit somebody
8 seconds.
and in 8 seconds, like you can't. It's funny because you're right. You can't do that now, and it's like, why don't they add that as you'd think that they could get. They could tinker with the minutia of the code so much that if you hit something in a certain time sequence in a certain way, that you can annihilate somebody in 8 seconds. Like that. Why isn't that in the game?
I don't
Maybe
know.
it is, and we just don't know because nobody's done it yet.
That could be.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's so what happens when you see he has a couple more matches? Are we thinking that is the
I would think at the Rumble it's going to be Lesnar Goldberg again.
No, I don't think that. I think that Goldberg's going to enter the Rumble and be like, I'm going to be champion now because I've proved I've still got it. He enters the Rumble, Lesnar takes him out of the Rumble, and then they fight again at WrestleMania.
Well, we've heard the rumors that Lesnar is going to enter. See, this is my thinking, that I think the loss to Goldberg might be offset by putting the Universal Championship on Brock Lesnar, because we've heard that that's a possibility. I personally think Lesnar Goldberg is done with. I think Lesnar's a guy that Goldberg probably doesn't want to have an actual match with because Lesnar works way too stiff, and Goldberg's 49 years old. I think he has a really good time doing this, but I think a guy like Undertaker at Mania would make more sense for Goldberg. I think a guy like Rusev, who Goldberg, like even Lana was tweeting at Goldberg with Brock or whoever last night. I think a guy like Rusev who probably knows how to take care of an older Brock. I mean, look, regardless of what happened last night, if Brock is booked in a match where he beats Goldberg, that's going to be a brutally stiff match. That's not something that a 49-year-old's going to want to do. I don't think. I mean, do you see the logic in that?
Yeah,
I can see the logic.
Crap out the Undertaker. How old's the Undertaker?
Yeah, the Undertaker's older.
Yeah,
Undertaker's in his 50s.
but I mean, that's the thing. It's like those two guys aren't going to go stiff on each other.
I mean, my thought about Lesnar and Goldberg having a rematch is largely predicated on what I read, that Lesnar thought this feud was money in the future. Mm-hmm. Whether that's, granted, that was on a dirt sheet. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Look,
There's so much up in the air. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be addressed on Raw tonight. The situation, whether Goldberg's going to be coming back for more matches.
I could see them putting them off until like the lead up to the Rumble or something. Though,
Maybe.
I
don't know. It'll be interesting Raw.
I know. My goodness.
Are you going to watch Raw tonight, Dan?
No, I'm going to go to bed.
Move to the States, Dan. Come on, you just got married.
7 a.m.
Time for a
watching
new
wrestling.
leaf to be turned over.
What's that, Dan?
I stayed up till 7 a.m. watching wrestling. That's enough.
Yeah, that's pretty early.
No,
that's a
good.
long
That's
day.
good. Encourage him.
Are you coming to WrestleMania
He's
next
young.
year?
He can do it.
I'm not young, God, but I'm old. I'm old and dying slowly.
Really? Wow. Exclusive here at NERDCUBE dying.
We're all dying, darling. That's the real exclusive here.
Dan, are you going to join us at WrestleMania next year?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to watch wrestling ever again. It's driving me insane at this point.
It's too much for your brain to handle.
It's just the problem is, like, with that whole pay-per-view, I was sitting there just going, like, none of this makes sense. I don't know why, but yesterday I didn't leave my brain at the door, and I feel like it really suffered for it.
Oh yeah. Last night's pay-per-view was not the pay-per-view to do that. It was a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I personally enjoyed the hell out of the rest of it. I mean, there were some ups and downs, but the main event, or not the main event, but the co-main event, I guess, the men's
Yeah, that was a great match.
SmackDown match. That was fantastic. It was like almost an hour of just pure overbooking.
Yep.
So I mean, with stuff like that, like it's more fun, I think, when it's overbooked like that.
Yeah. Okay. I was just sitting there going, why isn't the ref counting at this point?
Oh, yeah, I brought that up, too.
Oh, yeah.
Why has he been disqualified for this thing? Why, that guy's just turned up. Why is he not getting disqualified for that? What are the rules? Could somebody show me the rules? I'm like Monica from Friends. Just sitting there like, the rules control the fun.
No, when the Shield reunited to powerbomb AJ, the whole time I was telling Steve, how come no one's getting counted out right now?
I know.
They're out there for like 3 minutes.
I know. I think, if you think about, if you put yourself in the shoes of the ref, then it's like in the NBA when they say you got to let the players play.
Well, then how come he didn't have that attitude when Braun Strowman got counted out?
Because that was earlier in the match, and on top of that, he probably doesn't want to be in the same ring as Braun Strowman because he's like a monster. I'd be fine with that too. I'd try to get him counted out too. The ref might have helped Ellsworth get into the ring. We don't know. Hey, help me out on this one. I want to be in here. No, my point is the ref needs to let the players play, but early on he has to establish order.
But he did it because right before Strowman got counted out, it was a huge scrum with everybody fighting everywhere.
Exactly, and then he had to establish order in the ring.
But then he just gave up that order.
And so he starts doling out the count outs.
But then he just gave up that order when it was down to like 6 people. 5 people.
Okay,
exactly. Because it's like, you know what? Okay, now we're down to a manageable amount. I'm just going to let this play out. Maybe he's a big mark for the Shield. Maybe he also understands that, hey,
that's collusion. This
is going to be box
office.
That's
collusion then.
Yeah, they're wrestling refs. You have to allow for the fact that they're gonna collude from time to time. Nick Patrick was the NWO's own referee, for fuck's sake.
But then he lost his job, and to get it back, he had to call things straight down the middle, which he did.
Exactly. Well, maybe this ref, Brad Maddox was in collusion with I think CM Punk,
and then he moved into a cave,
or is the other way around? Exactly. The refs are part of the whole story.
I understand that.
They can't always call it down the middle. There's got to be. You have to allow for some personality of the refs to come out.
There needs to be consistency at least, and there was no consistency.
No, I think there was consistency. I think there was consistency from the ref's point of view.
We don't know the ref's point of view, though. You're
now
assuming.
We do.
You're
now
assuming.
We do. That's okay. That's all we have to go with. What am I supposed to do? Sit here and go, I don't know. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to think, okay, how can I explain what happened last night? That's what I'm going to do.
I don't think
I can explain it. I have the answer.
Okay, Dan.
When you two have finished, the referee had watched Shane McMahon die about a few minutes earlier, so clearly he'd just gone, and he'd been spooked by the whole thing. So
I know I was.
Yeah.
Watching Shane's head just ram against the mat. That was horrifying.
I know.
In slow motion.
Have we got
times.
any updates on Shane McMahon?
No.
I mean,
although credit
do we know when his funeral is?
A lot of credit to Randy Orton for going up to Shane's kids and telling them that he was going to be okay.
Going up to his kids and saying, "Doesn't look good."
Well, and then on the way when Shane was getting helped out, Randy goes up and pats him on the back.
Yeah,
Randy's a pro.
He is. I don't like that breaking character shit though, because a Wyatt family member shouldn't be doing that.
Well,
I think that's the opposite of being a pro.
When a competitor's children are ringside and their father just suffered an injury, it's warranted to break character.
Say, hey, he's not going to remember you.
Yeah, your childhood just vanished from his brain. Now take your shirt off and get in the ring.
Yeah, exactly. That was probably honestly like. Regardless of all the like lapses in logic from last night, which I'm totally willing to admit, but I'm totally into them. I love that shit. I don't care. Probably my biggest problem was Goldberg's kid. Honestly, it wasn't even that he got in the ring. It was that his shirt was off. Well, just a little. I mean, it's not.
If I was in the ring, I'd take my shirt off.
Nobody wants to. My point is this: nobody wants to see it. I'm not saying there's anything weird or gross about it. I'm saying nobody really wants to see that. You know what I mean? Like, keep the shirt on. Have him wear a Goldberg shirt. Or a Lesnar shirt if you want to get, like, confusing about it. That'd be even better. Yeah, my own kid was betting against me.
I think Goldberg says his son plays as Lesnar in the game. I think he said that.
That sounds like a very Goldberg thing to say.
I know.
Like, during interviews, he's the most, like, reasonable person. Like, he's like, oh, yeah. I mean, this is going to be great, like, 10 years from now when Goldberg still looks amazing and he gives an interview about what happened last night. It's gonna be the yeah, no, I said, if you want me for more matches, I can't go in there and just, bleed against Lesnar. I gotta have something left in the tank. That's what he's gonna say. That's exactly what he's gonna say. And he's going to be like, it's all fake anyways. Who cares? It's all for entertainment's sake. My kid got to go out there. It was great. That's what Goldberg, that's exactly what I was going to say. Because that's what he always used, like in all those interviews about WCW. And he'd talk about like the cruise. Yeah, I love the cruiserweights. Those guys were so great. He's like, it's funny because he says he's not like he's not like a big fan of the business. He does it for business reasons. But he still gets a kick out of the business.
Yeah, confirmed. Goldberg's son plays as Brock.
Confirmed here on
according to
your inside sources.
This is according to NBCSports.com.
That's because Goldberg doesn't care enough about wrestling and didn't pre-order the game, so he doesn't have him.
He doesn't actually have Goldberg.
He doesn't actually have Goldberg on the game.
Then his son tried to download create a character version of Goldberg, and it says, "Sorry, you need the pre-order Goldberg to do this, to download it." Oh man, we never found a winner for our copy of 2K17.
Yeah, we'll decide that tomorrow on the show.
I know we got to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
Nobody picked Bray, right?
Nobody picked Bray.
So I guess it's just our favorite piece of art.
No, we got to figure out something else. Nobody won. So it stays with us until somebody wins it.
Okay. We just made such a deal about giving away the game on the stream. We should give it away based on the contest we had.
We can't go back in time now. We were going to give it away on the stream.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have it.
And then we were so stunned by Goldberg, we just completely forgot about space and time altogether.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What's that, Dan?
I'll have it. I'll have the game. If it's got the Goldberg pre-order DLC, then yeah, I'll have it.
No, I'm sorry, it doesn't. Do you know the story of the game?
What?
Do you want to know the story of why we're giving away this game?
Sure, go for it.
Because I forgot to pre-order the game. And so I didn't have gold. And so we're doing all these custom creative character things. And most of them involved Goldberg for some reason. Like, you need the Goldberg pre-order thing for Goldberg.
Yeah.
And so I went and I was like, WWE said a thing. They said, hey, we got all these NXT. So I bought the game, but I hadn't done the pre-order.
Yeah.
And so WWE, like a week later or so, WWE.com said, hey, we're doing this NXT. We still have NXT copies, and the NXT version of the game with everything in it. And I was like, okay, I'll just go ahead and buy that. So I'll have the Goldberg code.
And then about a week later, they announced the Goldberg DLC will be available separately.
It was literally like less than a week later for $20. I could have bought all that shit. I'm like, I didn't know it was gonna be that soon. And so I had an extra copy of the game, so I was just laying around.
So basically, the generosity of your own heart.
Kind of just mixed with stupidity of what I was doing. I mean, I'm totally fine admitting to being stupid about it. Although Larson bet on Lesnar last night. Now he has to wear a Jeff Jarrett. Dan, do you know who Jeff Jarrett is?
No.
You're better off for it. But now
I thought I was about to get one of those
Larson,
lessons
because he lost our bet. So like he always wins at predictions.
And yeah.
But last night he was winning.
I still
again.
won predictions. I just lost that bet.
You were winning again last night, and then I said, "Here's the deal: I will be considered the winner of predictions if right now."
Well, I didn't know that was part
after
of
the betting odds.
I thought it was just
after the betting odds
we're betting
went
on that
in
match
favor
separately.
of Bill Goldberg. I said, "You choose who wins, and we'll do double or nothing. Either I'll wear the Jeff Jarrett shirt for 2 weeks, or you wear it for 1 week if you lose."
Yeah.
Because I
didn't know. See, I was under the impression that was a separate bet. That was a side bet, not associated with predictions. If I had known, I wouldn't have agreed to it.
Yeah, you would have.
No, I wouldn't.
You still would have.
No, I wouldn't have.
You still would have.
No.
Yeah, you would have.
Because me winning predictions is a valuable thing.
Not really, though.
It is.
What do you get out of it?
Knowing that I'm better at predicting things than you.
Well, you can still have that knowledge.
I want it official, though.
You weren't able. Do we keep track of these things?
Unofficially.
Someone on the internet does.
Sorry, let's talk about that men's main event last night.
Yes.
Or the men's match.
Dan, what did you think of the men's Survivor Series match?
Why is Randy Orton a member of the Wyatt family? I got married and I've missed a bit, so what's happened?
This is where our comments are like, doesn't even watch wrestling, and that's okay.
Yeah.
A lot of you people, so many people are coming to our stream last night. What happened so far? So a lot of people don't watch wrestling.
In short, I guess you could say Bray Wyatt brainwashed Randy Orton.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Randy Orton gave himself over to Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, because he was seduced by the power of Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, so he wasn't really brainwashed.
He already hears voices in his head, so.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much a big swerve.
Yeah, they're all
We're
setting up for a
thinking-
huge swerve where Randy will end up swerving Bray.
Right. I think so. Like, if you really break it down, though, like it's Bray. I mean, it makes total sense. Like, this actually makes complete and total sense because during sort of their feud, Bray showed off his powers, his own powers of the Wyatt family, where he could teleport.
Yeah.
Because like Randy locked him in a storage shed, and Bray teleported out.
Yes.
He played some mind games, some very, very simplistic mind games with Randy Orton. And then Randy was like, man.
Randy would look in the mirror and like his image would warp.
Yeah. And
then he had like
eye lasers.
Eye lasers.
Yeah, and that's when he admitted to Bray, says, "You are a god. I'm going to follow thee."
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it makes perfect. Like, if I knew Bray Wyatt personally and I saw him teleport, I would be like, teach me what you fucking know, because I'm going to save some airline miles.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Or at least some time in the car.
Yeah. Tell life would be easier if you didn't have to drive 25 minutes to get here.
Oh,
right?
I know.
Yeah.
That's a whole hour of my day I could have back.
It's like, hey,
To
hold
be
on a
productive.
second. I'm going to go grab something. Bloom, bloom, and you're back.
I know.
So
Great.
that's the story of Randy Orton. So yeah, now he's a Wyatt family member.
For the time being.
For the time being.
Not a
Probably
long-term
till, like,
situation.
The
though.
Rumble or something. So I really enjoyed this. What were the high spots of this match? There were some.
Well,
what were some of the storylines that played? Okay, number one. Let's talk about the Wyatts really quick. We got our moment with Bray and Braun. That has been sort of settled now because they ended up in the same ring together. But Braun stopped short of attacking Bray at first.
Yeah.
And then Jericho hops in and says, "I'm the captain. You need to attack him. This is our thing. This is what you need to do." Bray's sort of laughing it off, and then Braun grabs them both by the throat.
Yeah.
And did he give him a double choke slam?
He kind of just pushed them both away.
Okay, all right. So anyways, he asserted his dominance. I like that both him and Nia Jax are both booked the way they should be booked, as sort of monsters,
Yep.
sort of the powerhouses.
Yep.
That was good.
Okay. James Ellsworth
Yeah.
got involved in the match. So Braun was dominating. And then he ate an RKO out of nowhere on the outside on an announce table. And then Randy and Bray Wyatt put him up on another announce table. Shane dropped an elbow on him. And right as Braun was trying to get back in the ring to beat the 10 count, who grabs his foot?
James Ellsworth.
James Ellsworth, who was hiding under the ring.
Yeah. I thought it was a good move. I thought it was good.
What'd you think about that,
It's
Dan?
nice They got mascot. They got a nice mascot. It's nice to have a mascot. As
Yeah,
the person
SmackDown
in the
has a
mascot
mascot.
slot
It's nice to
here, I
have a
feel like
mascot.
it's a nice thing to be.
I like that. I like that Braun trying to get in the ring was held down by James Ellsworth, but then everything else Braun did was so effortless. Like, he just sort of slid his foot out like it was nothing, and
I know.
he carried Ellsworth with him.
Yeah.
And then he just tossed him literally like it was him tossing Ellsworth through that table was all Braun.
Oh, yeah.
That was all Braun. So I like that Ellsworth was able to stop. Like, if you want to talk about leaps in logic, Ellsworth Braun should have looked down and been like, "What the fuck," and then just like kicked him off. But anyways, it didn't happen. It was a fun moment. I
in the
liked
ring
it.
and
I
there were
liked
like
it a lot.
arms attached to his foot. Just where did they come from?
Dan, let's talk about Kevin Owens getting disqualified because
With
I agree
the
with you.
list.
That didn't make any sense,
No, that didn't make any sense whatsoever.
especially following the huge scrum that happened outside the ring for a good 5 minutes between all the participants. When
Yep.
in theory, at least two people should have got it counted out.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Owens uses a clipboard on AJ Styles, and he gets disqualified for
My
it.
God, that clipboard had a family.
Here's my main problem with that. It's just a clipboard.
Yeah,
It's really just a clipboard.
I know.
But maybe, see, again, you got to look at the ref. You got to say, okay, well, it's already getting out of control. Time to set an example. So I don't care what you bring in here. You could bring a pillow in here. If you're going to use it on somebody, you're going to get kicked out. You're setting an example.
Yeah,
right there.
but Roman's still in the corner wearing body armor.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dan.
Well, everybody, that's in his contract. At this point, I'm just convinced that Roman has that in his contract. That's the only
must
logical
have, yeah.
reason for that whatsoever. It's everybody knows that Roman's at a slight advantage, and when I say slight, I say major advantage.
Yeah,
'cause he has
huge,
literally
massive.
body armor.
So when Owens uses the list of Jericho, the clipboard, the list goes flying everywhere. Jericho is distraught.
Is this going to be the thing? Is this going to be the thing?
That drives a wedge between Owens and Jericho?
It can't be.
I hope not.
It can't be. I mean, I'm fine with the list being the impetus for the feud to a degree.
Yeah.
But not just what happened last night.
No.
Like, Jericho needs to put Owens on the list for some reason.
Yeah.
And not just what happened last night.
Yes.
Well,
I don't know.
I'd like to just make a quick point. It's really hard to say this can't be it on a pay-per-view where Lesnar was squashed.
Yeah, power rankings.
I feel like anything can happen in the WWE.
That sounded like the most mark-out thing I've ever heard in my life. That was like the biggest fanboy thing I've ever heard. Anything can happen.
Well, he didn't say it like with excitement, though.
I heard it. That's the most excitement I've heard out of Dan's voice.
That sounded like he was defeated. Anything can happen in WWE.
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I think he was excited about it.
So Owens is DQ'd. Jericho comes in.
Weird. He's always been a prize fighter. He's always been the one who wants the other prize and wants to be the best and the winner. It feels a bit, and he doesn't really. I've never seen that he liked Jericho. He's always just Jericho likes him, and he's okay with that.
Yeah, that's how it should be booked. We talked about this a little bit earlier in like one of our other shows. That's how it really should be. And it's funny because Dan, did you watch NXT?
No, I didn't even know it was on. I didn't think Survivor Series was till next weekend, so I'm well behind.
That was a great show.
Yeah, you missed a great show. And I made the sort of parallel between Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, saying that, Samoa Joe, it's like people are still able to super appreciate him, especially the Full Sail crowd. I think the main roster people will too, but I really, really hope that he doesn't go sort of the outright entertaining route that Kevin Owens does. In doing things that he knows is going to elicit a favorable reaction from the crowd, like playing along with Jericho. The prize fighter pure heel thing was so good with Kevin Owens.
Yep.
And although I'm vastly entertained when he does stuff like, hugs Jericho and plays along with them, I'm really entertained by it, and I get a good chuckle out of it. It diminishes, in my eyes, him as a character, and it betrays him as a character way too much. And I think that's one reason why I've been just sort of, who cares about the Universal title?
If Owens wasn't holding the Universal title, this would all be great stuff.
But even if he wasn't as a character, I still wouldn't take him. I just don't take him that seriously these days.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying if he wasn't carrying the Universal title,
it'd be better for the Universal title. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure,
and when someone's a champion, you feel like you should be taking them seriously.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if he wasn't champion, you might just view it. Okay, this is an entertaining little program that got going here that will lead to an eventual split.
I mean, AJ gets cheers simply because he's AJ Styles,
and he's good.
He tries his best to heal them. Yep. I mean, AJ's too. I honestly think that AJ is too nice of a guy to be a pure heel. I honestly wonder if that's the case because he doesn't.
He tries though.
Face turn yesterday. He got beaten the crap out by Dean Ambrose and everyone. Dean running from the back is a very heel move.
Oh yeah. What they did to him, but then AJ's supposed to be the face. The problem is people love AJ too much. He's too good in the ring.
No, I think that's the thing. I don't know if it's necessarily a matter of him being too nice of a guy. He seemed like a nice guy when we talked to him. So, but I think people just appreciate his work so much that it's hard for him to be a heel because he's so good.
No, but
both in the ring and on the mic.
I think that there's an element. Okay, I think some guys.
Do you think he's just too likable? Just in terms of how his natural personality.
You can say that. Here's my thing. You have certain people who are born to be heels. Samoa Joe is born to be a heel. Brock Lesnar is born to be. If you take Brock Lesnar now versus Brock Lesnar in 2002 to 2004, whenever he was doing the shit with Kurt Angle, probably 2004, when he was doing the shit with Kurt Angle where Lesnar was a face, and it was like, he's a cute monster. But with Lesnar as a monster, he's just born to be a heel.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, born to be a heel. AJ Styles, he's not born to be a heel. And when he performs as a heel, you can you understand that it's a performance, and it's one that I find entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's not one where I'm like, oh my God, he's terrifying, or oh my God, he's really. AJ, there is something too likable about him for me to fully believe that he's the only person I can really think of that I think can toe a really great line between the two of them is Chris Jericho. Because when Chris Jericho came back in 2009 and had his shit with Shawn Michaels, he did, and he explains in his book, he did everything he could to be a straight up heel, and I think he has the personality where he can turn it on and turn it off much more effectively than virtually anybody else. AJ, I think, just has that infectious personality where it's like no matter what, you want to like him. And on top of that, he's amazing in the ring.
Yeah.
Because he could, I mean, if he really wanted to be a pure heel, he could, I guess, maybe alter his ring style.
Yeah.
But he's towing this line of he still knows that he wants to be the best. But at the same time, because I think it fits being a champion, you want to be the best.
Yeah.
That's just that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But I just think he's, maybe just too likable to be a straight up heel. Now, I'll take him in whatever he gives me. And I think he's maybe
the heel work he's been doing has been really entertaining.
He's more entertaining.
Yeah.
He's very entertaining. But in terms of being, we've talked about this endlessly, being entertaining and being a pure heel kind of don't mesh well together. Like Samoa Joe doesn't do anything that's overly entertaining.
No, but we
just
fantastic.
love his work because he's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, in that sense, we're entertained by his work. Because
I know. It's all semantics.
Yeah.
Like, it's all semantics. But boy, the people love AJ.
Yeah.
No matter what he does, people love AJ. So anyway, we got our Shield reunion.
Yeah.
We were wildly off with our predictions. We thought Dean would be the last man standing.
Yeah.
And in a manner, he was one of the more pivotal players.
Yeah.
In that match, with how him and AJ got him eliminated. Dean then came back out and essentially got AJ eliminated.
Yeah.
We got our sort of Shield reunion, which didn't make sense on a couple levels.
No, it was fan service.
It was fan service. What else did we have in that particular match?
Storyline wise?
Yeah.
I guess the finish, which saw the Wyatt family take on Roman Reigns, and Randy Orton stepped in front of a spear to protect Bray and allowed Bray to pick up the win. Mm-hmm. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It was a fun match.
Yeah, it was a fun match. I liked that Bray picked up the win. I think we both liked that a lot.
Yes.
So good for them. So in the grand scheme of things, SmackDown won 2, Raw won 3.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to consider everything a different contest.
Yeah.
All right.
So Raw has bragging rights.
Raw has bragging rights to a degree.
But
Yeah.
it also has most of the wrestlers.
Let's see here. What else?
The Cruiserweight match.
Oh my God! What a waste! What a total waste! Like you're just gonna build Baron Corbin as like that's how you insert Baron Corbin in the mix. And why wasn't Miz on the show last night? He should have at least like shown up during the Miz thing.
You mean Dolph?
I'm sorry, Dolph Ziggler. Yeah,
I know.
Who did I just say?
Miz.
Oh yeah, Miz. Yeah, why didn't
He was
Dolph
on the show.
up? Yeah, he was on the show. He successfully defended his IC title against Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
So yeah, they made a big point of Baron coming out and pissing off Daniel Bryan and asserting his dominance. Again, though, how much does the WWE just not give a shit about the career? I know they're getting their own show and everything, but to disrespect them in such a way, like their only match on the show, not counting pre-show, their big match on the show, the entire division is up for grabs, and Baron Corbin comes in. We both like Baron.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, I think he's a good heel. I think he's actually a really good heel. He comes down and like destroys them, but I don't care how much I like you. Like that's so fucked up.
I know.
Like to have him come out and essentially just destroy the cruiserweights.
I know.
Yeah.
Do you think Baron Corbin will make an appearance?
It was like a physical boring chant. That's what he was just like, boring! Do something else! I'll sort this out.
I wonder if Baron's going to show up on the first episode of 205 Live.
That I would be totally into.
If he just shows up from time to time.
If he just shows up every week and it just stands by ringside and everybody, he's like an extra, he's like an added threat. Baron Corbin's going to start kicking you. I'd be more apt to tune in. I'm probably going to watch the show.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd be way more apt to if Baron Corbin was like their king boss, their king heel over there. That'd be great. Like,
That'd be interesting.
Doesn't care who you are. I didn't care if you're a Rudo or a.
It was especially a bummer last night because the Cruiserweight match was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I know. It was shaping up to be a really decent match. So let's see here. We got the women's division.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So before the match, Natalya laid out Nikki Bella.
Yes.
This would have played.
Well, that has been confirmed officially yet, right?
Oh, that's confirmed. Hasn't been confirmed officially, but that's confirmed. That is definitely.
Steve confirms.
I confirmed right here. I think it's kind of plainly obvious. Like who in any murder, I know this from watching so much Dateline and ID channel over here. In any murder, they look who stands to benefit the most. Who stands to benefit? And in this case, it was Natalya. Case closed. She completely destroyed Nikki Bella.
Okay.
And that's how it is.
All right then. But I don't want to play Cluedo against you now. You're just far too fast at it.
I was the best at Clue. Were you good? Were you good at Clue?
That was okay.
Yeah. Dan, did you play Clue before?
It's Cluedo over here. You get Clue, we get Cluedo. We've added dough on the end of it.
Is that confirmed? Same premise though. Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. There's the film with what's his face.
Oh, Tim Curry?
Yeah, that film was great.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Was the
multiple endings, which was weird.
I was probably over there when I was a kid when that came out. Was it called Cluedo over there? Was the movie called Cluedo?
I believe it's called Cluedo over here. Yeah.
Oh, weird shit. England is a weird alternate universe.
Well, you've got Where's Waldo, whereas we have Where's Wally. Do
they look the same?
You've got a president called Trump, and that's what we call farts. So it's very, very different things.
We try not to talk about that here on the show, Dan. I don't know if you know, but we did one of our SmackDown recap podcasts during during
when the election results
were coming in, and you could just see us more and more defeated as the podcast wears on.
Yeah, we just get more and more upset.
It's so bad. Yeah, the women's match. So it ended up being more of a vehicle for Charlotte and Bayley's feud than anything, which I'm totally fine with. We both called the Raw women winning this.
Yeah.
They have the heavy hitters. SmackDown might have more depth, but Raw definitely has the heavier hitters. And so that's how this should have been. And yeah, it ended up with I like the end. It was Charlotte and Bayley versus Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch ended up she get a pin on Charlotte or make her tap out to the disarm. I forget which one it was.
Charlotte didn't lose at all. She didn't get eliminated.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it ended up just being Bayley to right.
Bayley gives Becky Bayley to belly suplex.
That's right.
Gets the pin.
Yeah.
And so Charlotte and Bayley are the final competitors left on Team Raw, and then Charlotte lays out Bayley.
Well, yeah, Charlotte lays out Bayley. Yeah. So
who did Becky take out then? She definitely took someone out.
Becky made Nia Jax tap.
That's right. That's a big get for Becky Lynch. That's a huge get. We figured you don't like Nia tapping out.
No.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with certain people having certain weaknesses, even if you're a monster. Like, for example, what would Kevin Owens... when he first came to Maine, it was something about him. He wouldn't get pinned. He would only get submitted to like Cena's STFU or whatever it's called. I think there was something about Kevin Owens. I was like, okay, well, his one. Everybody should have some sort of Achilles heel.
Yeah, no, and I understand you can't do count out finishes
for everybody.
Yeah. I understand that.
I still think that being said, I think that would have made sense. I'm just okay with Nia being submitted.
They set up Nia going through the barricade on Raw, the go home show. Mm-hmm. They could have done that spot again, had her get counted out.
She just gets knocked out.
Yeah, counted out.
Yeah. By being knocked out going through a barricade.
Yeah.
Because that would be her Achilles heel. Put her through a barricade.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Any other storylines in that? Sasha got eliminated first. That was pretty
Not
surprising.
First, but early.
Early. That was surprising.
Yeah.
Then what else we got?
Sami Zayn versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title.
Decent match, terrible finish. I hate those. We've grown to sort of appreciate The Miz more over on SmackDown because he's the only upper mid card guy with Dolph.
It would have been far more interesting if Dolph had gotten involved.
I know. They would have given. There's so many reasons for that.
I know.
It would have given something for Dolph to do. It would have been logical because if he helps The Miz win, then the IC title stays on the show that he can compete for.
Perfect sense. And then if Sammy ends up getting traded to SmackDown, that's two people he can feud with right away.
But what a stupid ending.
Yeah.
Maurice rings the bell, and then the Miz surprises Sammy. It was a stupid ending. I don't like that at all. Anyways, next.
The Tag Team Survivor Series match.
This is a fun match. I like that Sheamus and Cesaro went over. I think out of everybody... I'll say with a caveat. American Alpha needed that win more than anybody. They really did. They need to start doing something with them. Even if they were in their last against Cesaro and Sheamus, give them that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really fun, like sort of over the top moments in this. A lot of people jumping out of the ring onto other people. I like that everybody. I like that everybody knows how to catch people in a group safely because they did some like so many flips over the top rope.
Yeah.
So I always, even somebody in the comments was like, Steve, you really need to have faith in these people. They know what they're doing. I'm like, well, look at Shane McMahon. No, they don't.
Shane McMahon knew what he was doing. He's 1,000 years old and he exploded.
Well, that's even something.
Sometimes.
That's even something that McFoley has said is that when you get older, the first thing to go is your neck muscles.
Yeah, for wrestlers.
For wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. So maybe he couldn't tuck his chin.
Tuck his chin. Are we thinking that Lesnar Shane McMahon might be off the book? There was no Lesnar Shane interaction last night. That has to be off the books now, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That has to be off the books.
I think so.
Are you happy about that?
Uh-huh.
You have to be very happy about that. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Me too. Let's see here.
That was
Especially
it.
now. If anything, last night sealed the deal because you can't go in there with Lesnar. You're going to get concussed. Look at Randy Orton.
Yep. That was Survivor Series.
That was Survivor Series. All in all, I think, look, personally speaking for me, we'll go around. For me, I give it a thumbs up because I thought the highlights outweighed the lowlights, and Goldberg winning was so stunning and shocking, and it means we get more Goldberg, and I'm sorry, but I think his mic work is more than enough to justify him being there, and I'm fine with it. We might get to see Goldberg WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's fun. Dan, come to WrestleMania. You'll see Goldberg.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You're going to do it. Yeah, I have a feeling Dan's going to come to WrestleMania.
We should have got a third ticket for him, and then we been like, Dan, you have to go.
I know.
We got you a ticket.
I know.
Should have done that.
What the heck? Dang it.
I see.
Larson, final thoughts on Survivor Series?
A moderate thumbs up.
A moderate thumbs up. What gives it a moderate, not an excited thumbs up? Because mine's a thumbs up. It's not like an overwhelming thumbs up, but it's up there.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the
mine's a moderate one too. But when you say moderate, you sound like it's a thumbs up, but it's on the low rung.
Yeah,
it's a low rung thumbs up.
Yeah, because as you said, there was some...
then it's a hesitant thumbs up, not a moderate.
Sorry,
I'm a moderate thumbs up because I'm like thumbs up, not a poor thumbs up, not a huge thumbs up, but if my thumb is up.
Okay, because as you said, the highlights did overall outweigh the lowlights.
Yeah, but
after thinking about it for half a day, some of the highlights, I don't know if they exactly make sense.
Yeah.
Have to wait till we'll see how things play out, and then we can reevaluate in a month.
If tonight on Raw, Brock Lesnar comes down, takes the mic just by himself, one lone spotlight, all the other lights are out, and he addresses the camera and he says, "I was dealing with a crippling bout of diarrhea. And so the entire time, my only focus was not shitting myself in the middle of the ring."
Well, if that's the case, you don't want to take any spears.
Yeah,
he's in character, so he doesn't get addicted. He doesn't say, I asked to have this booked differently. No, he was like, look, taking a spear is the best way to explode your diarrhea if you're trying to keep it in.
Yeah.
And I was trying not to do that, and that's why I just decided to take the loss. Would you feel better about it?
No.
No, not explained?
No.
That's explained, though.
No.
Dan, final thoughts on Survivor Series?
My client Brock Lesnar has severe diarrhea. I don't know. It's one of those like sideways thumbs, and you're like, oh, which way is it gonna go? But it's just a sideways thumb. I don't know. I didn't really. I enjoyed that there was a moment. We haven't had a moment in a pay-per-view for a long ass time.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while since they've done something unpredictable.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've gone. Oh, that was something I'm glad I watched live. But yeah, it was. I don't know. It was just a big mess overall. The kind of it feels like part one. The whole thing feels like part one.
Yeah.
A lot of time in wrestling, it's a lot of stuff's part one. You can't really review a part one until you've seen part two.
Exactly.
You know where
I'm kind of fine with that, though. I kind of like that we're at Survivor Series. Survivor Series is part one of this, 3-part story, assuming it's Rumble and Mania. Mm-hmm. And I like that we have no idea where it's going to go from here.
Yeah. And so I said, let's reevaluate later on. It might change at least my perception of what happened.
Well, this keeps me wanting more.
Yeah.
So I think that's a success in my eyes.
Yeah, but the thing is, with the part one, we don't even know if we're going to get a part two. It might just be to be continued and never resolved.
Well, all the wrestlers are still under contract, so they have to be there. They have to come back.
Yeah, but and now Goldberg's going to fight Booker T, and then Booker T beats him, and we're like, wait, what's happening now? And then it's like, oh, it's setting up for something, and then NWO come back. And
do we have confirmation that Goldberg's fighting Booker T next at the Rumble? That'd be great.
Yeah, right, there's confirmation. I'll confirm.
Damn, we can't do that on this show anymore. We can't make things up anymore.
That's terrible. What's the fun in that?
Let's talk about our book of the match.
I want to talk about Brock Lesnar fighting Booker T. Oh, not Brock. Yeah, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg versus Booker T in a 2-on-1 handicap of Royal Rumble. That's happening.
Booker T goes over.
Yeah.
I love Booker T for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that match?
And then Trump runs in, but it gets a little racial at that point, so I'm going to refrain.
Whoa! Trump is not allowed in the WrestleMania arena anymore. Unless Linda gets a cabinet position.
That'll be some fun booing. You think Roman Reigns has heat? Actually, oh my God!
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
Hey, there you go. That's how to get Roman over. Put him in there with Trump.
Even though with Trump, that's how you get.
It worked with
finally
Sheamus. Sheamus
cracked
and
it.
Trump have the same amount of heat.
Oh my God! We finally cracked that nut. That's how you do it.
So WrestleMania 25.
25.
That's right.
25. Yeah. It's a good start. I enjoyed this a lot more.
Oh, I gotta bring it up because there was some stuff in here. Did the Christian the ladder, the Money in the Bank spot with Christian and his expertly placed foot was amazing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love when I do this. I think to myself, I gotta get on Wikipedia to get the results, and
So
I
search
Google
for
Wikipedia.
Yeah. Have you ever Googled Google?
I probably have, yeah. All right, let's see here. Too many buttons. Results.
Yeah, that's the first match on the main card was the Money in the Bank ladder match.
CM Punk won the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Was this the first of his 2 consecutive wins? Or the second?
I don't
Second.
know.
Second? Okay.
Oh, that was the second.
The
Okay.
commentary informed me of that fact, and I remembered it.
Is
I
it
do
the-
like after I came out of that the Survivor Series we watched, I was like, all right, this better be good. And then like CM Punk comes out, and I'm like, all right, I forgive you.
Is it weird that to me there is a distinct power ranking difference in CM Punk with short hair and a beard versus CM Punk with long hair? I think with long hair, to me, he looks weaker than when he had his short hair. I think he just looked way cooler with short hair and a beard.
I thought he
he
looked
has
pretty
less
cool with
peripheral
long hair and a
vision.
beard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, long hair and a beard. Yeah, he had the Jesus thing, and he was literally doing like the Jesus thing. But so with the beard, yeah, but he had like no beard and the long hair, and I hate that look for him.
I didn't like that either.
He looked, because I know he came up backyard wrestling. He looks like a backyard wrestler here.
Yeah.
And I can't stand that.
Yeah.
But you're right, when he grew a beard and he had the chest hair.
Yeah.
And it was really weird.
Yeah. That was all good stuff.
It was all good stuff. That stuff matters to me way too much. Who else was in this match? We had Kane. That makes
Shelton
sense.
Benjamin died like 6 times in that match.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait
He was
till he
incredible.
recovers from injury. And
I know.
He's like
I know.
back.
He was so good. He probably still is good.
He
MVP.
dived face first into the out of the ring. Like he just dived I don't know how he survived that.
The
just
bit
kinda
with
went,
him
"Woo."
and Christian, where they topple over and Christian like landed his foot and
Yeah.
kicked himself back.
Yeah.
I give so many fucking props to Christian for that, because that cannot be easy to do.
Yeah.
The margin of error there is so thin.
Yeah.
Finley was in the match too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he had Hornswoggle as his little sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
I love Finley. He had and that was back when he had the shillelagh.
Yeah.
Because I like WCW
Yeah.
Finley.
Yeah.
And then I always thought it was funny when they brought him back to the WWE, because I'm like, what? Finley can still wrestle? Like, he was old back
Yeah,
then.
I know he looked old back in WCW days.
Yeah. Let's see here. And then, of course, CM Punk goes over. And then we get the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal, when women's wrestling was not what it is today. Because
Wasn't
Santana
it?
Marella.
Wasn't it? That was a great match. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It was horrible. Horrible. God, it was just one giant fucking joke to them back then. What a fucking mess.
I know.
Let's see here. Oh, surprise of the night, Ricky Steamboat, like 1,000,000 years old. He could wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
That dude was putting on a show. It was Chris Jericho versus some legends in a handicap match. Roddy Piper, Ricky Steamboat, and Jimmy Snuka. Jimmy Snuka. Oh, that's not good. lock up your girlfriends, ladies or boys. Let's see here. Ricky Steamboat. Yeah, that dude can still wrestle. He can still go. And he took on the majority. It was sort of the majority of the match was him versus Jericho. Jericho went over, making him tap out. And then, of course, we got the wrestler himself, Randy the Ram. Mickey Rourke came in and doled out one of the funnier stories in Chris Jericho's autobiography, or one of his autobiographies, was when he met Mickey Rourke, and Jericho had been running down Rourke. And Mickey Rourke thought it was real. Apparently, he didn't realize. He was like, "Hey, you got some shit to say to me?" And he was like, "No, it's all in character, man. It's all just a thing that we're doing." And Mickey Rourke didn't believe him at first. He was going to lay into him, and they had to he had to back him off. And then he was like, "Dude, listen to me. This is how we make money."
Yeah.
Fucking Randy the Ram. Dan, have you seen The Wrestler, the movie?
No, I have not.
Oh yeah, check that out.
Oh, you have to check it out. It is so fucking good.
Yep.
Let's see here. Broken Matt Hardy took on Brother Nero.
Deleted.
That's right. This is good. I like when they were giving Matt Hardy a bit of a push.
It's a precursor to the final deletion.
It was, and they were deleting people left and right with those chair shots to the head. Yeah. That's rough.
This wasn't that far back ago, was it? And they're quite uncomfortable watching someone get smashed in the face.
It was what, 9 years ago? 8-9 years ago?
2009?
Oh, 7 years ago.
Yeah. So yeah, even 7 years ago, it's hard to believe. Like even 7 years ago, they were smashing people in the head with chairs.
And that final bump where he jumps off the ladder and just lands on his ass. How did his spine not shoot out of his head at that point?
I know.
And he still does shit like that.
I know.
That's insane.
I know.
Someone's had to deal with the devil. That's all I'm saying.
Shit. Rey Mysterio. Oh, this is great. 21-second match. Bradshaw drops his Intercontinental Championship. I think he was just done. With wrestling at this point because he quit. I don't think he ever came back after this. To Rey Mysterio. It was a fun little match to break it up, and then he started yelling at people that he's quitting.
Rey Mysterio came out as the Joker.
Yeah.
All right.
This was 2009. So when that was Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight Returns, right?
Was it? Why does it feel like Dark Knight?
When the second
Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight.
That feels like it should.
Was that 2010?
I don't know.
2008. So yeah,
wow, really?
This is it was a year later.
Wow.
So it made sense.
I didn't think it was that long ago.
We're old, man.
I know.
We're very old. Time is just going. Time ain't stopping for us, dude.
I know.
It's not stopping. And then in the match of the night, The Undertaker took on Shawn Michaels, and it's just an absolutely amazing match.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I wish that whenever I walked into a
Michaels'
building, I can have
beautiful.
Shawn Michaels' entrance for this match. Because he literally descended from the heavens, and then his theme music kicked in.
I know.
That's what a great juxtaposition that is.
I know.
Because he descends literally from God himself.
I know.
Yep.
He is
Light behind him,
Jesus
wearing white.
2.0. He comes down bathed in white light, wearing his white cowboy hat.
I know.
His immaculate white outfit. And then, I'm just a sex toy.
You think I'm cute.
You know I'm Jesus.
He's God's gift. That's what he's trying to say there.
He is God's gift. And this is God gifts to wrestling right here, because this is a fantastic match.
Yeah.
Yes.
We almost saw The Undertaker kill himself in that botched spot with, I think it was Snuka's son. Dropped him. He was the cameraman who was supposed to catch Undertaker, and instead Shawn Michaels grabbed him, tried to move him in position, and he was like, "You're not actually a cameraman, you know." And Undertaker almost killed himself. There was that spot where Michaels leaps out of the ring to try to land on Undertaker, and Undertaker just took him and threw him to the mat.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, it's a brutal matchup. It's amazing. Sometimes when I see this shit, it's amazing that these guys can do this shit to their bodies.
I know.
And then even like get up and continue to fight at all.
I know.
God, it's crazy.
I know. It's crazy. I'm still kind of partial to the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels' second match.
Oh, I agree. I know. It's funny because like almost universally people point to this as a better match, but I think the second one, I really do. I mean, it's the storytelling in there is I think I just prefer that story over this one.
I think so.
And on top of that, we don't see the Undertaker almost kill himself.
Yeah.
Big Show got a match with John.
And John
Cena.
Cena won a belt.
Yeah. We got to see John Cena win another belt.
Hooray!
12?
Something like that.
Oh, wait. Was this the one? Wait a second. Was this the one where John Cena got chokeslammed into the...
No,
that was a different one.
that was a different pay-per-view.
Oh, that's right. That was just John Cena versus Edge, and then Big Show came out.
Yeah, as Edge's finishing move.
As Edge's finishing move, because
Yeah.
he chokeslammed him into
a spotlight.
A spotlight, and then exploded. And John
Yeah.
Cena really should have been dead at that point.
Yeah.
But that wasn't this. Unfortunately, that wasn't this, so it doesn't get rated as high for me. And then Triple H defeated Randy Orton. I know I watched this. Was this a decent match? I forget.
I feel like I've watched it too, I think, and I feel like it was another disappointing Triple H WrestleMania main event. I think he's had 3 of them.
Oh my god!
His match with Batista wasn't very good. This one wasn't that great.
Okay, yeah, it was generally regarded by critics as disappointing ending the show. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the crowd weren't super into it, which kind of kills it quite
Well,
badly.
here's the thing, Undertaker, and this is wisely they put Undertaker Shawn Michaels as the main event the next year.
Yes.
But Undertaker Shawn Michaels that should have been the main event. It wasn't for a belt, but it should have been the main event.
Yep.
And so you're emotionally exhausted by the end of that. That was a 30-minute match. That was by far the longest match of the show. And so by the time that's done with, you're done.
I know.
Why are you even? Why am I even here anymore? I'm going to take off.
I was worried that was going to happen last night after the men's division match went an hour, and we were both exhausted. After that.
Yeah, people were in our comments. Why are they just sitting there not talking? Because this is the point of a live stream reaction show is to see what it's like to watch the show with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not always talking to each other. We talk to each other way too much, anyways.
Yeah, you guys talk a lot.
Let's see here, and then so that was it. That was WrestleMania 25.
Yes, it was. I like to point out in this video, I may have been talking, and it sounds like they're completely ignoring me. It's because I believe Steve is muting me anytime he talks because he's got a lot of feedback. I'd like to point out that he's not just ignoring me. It's not on your side, internet commenters. It's on my side.
I'm sorry, Dan. I tried not to, but I mute myself while I start talking, and then I unmute myself when I'm done. Because I figure you're not going to talk over me, right?
Well, the thing is, I start talking, and when I talk, because my mic's going and recording, it actually mutes it, so I can't hear anyone when I'm talking. So I have no idea who's heard anyone. We might all be just talking over each other this entire thing.
I'm totally fine with that. Whatever. We're gonna all get a splitter. It'll be better next time.
Yeah, next time.
I know I got a goddamn splitter in here somewhere.
If not, we'll get one.
Fucking technology, man.
So what are we gonna do for the next book of the match?
I don't have a camera on because my bloody bulb blew, and I was like, I ain't got any light in here, so I'm just sitting here in the dark. It's quite nice.
How about what if we do WrestleMania 20? We can go back and watch Lesnar Goldberg 1.
Okay.
Wait, we haven't done that yet.
I don't think so.
Dan, how do you feel about watching more Lesnar Goldberg?
Sure. Is this one longer than 27 seconds?
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
Yeah, it's not a good match.
It's not a good match.
Alright. Well, what else is... I like it. It's like 7th out of 12 matches.
A tepid response, if I've ever heard one. What else is at WrestleMania 20?
Chris Benoit wins the title.
Oh, this is a good one. Because Eddie and Benoit both go over.
Yep.
Oh, you'll like this. This is good. Yeah, that triple threat match is really, really good. And Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, I'm down for that. There's a lot of good here to go with the bad.
Okay.
Let's see here. Tori Wilson and Sable defeat Stacy Keibler. That's got to be terrible. Oh, in a Playboy evening gown match. That's got to be terrible.
Well, let's skip some bits of it, and then we'll...
Yeah. Well, you know how book of the match goes. Half the time, I fast forward through this match. I saw this a long time ago, but I think it was okay.
Yeah, that's how I was on WrestleMania 25.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's okay. Anyways. Dan, when are you coming back? Are you coming back for the TLC? Are you coming back for the Rumble? When are you coming back?
I don't know. There's one very soon, isn't there?
Yeah, in 2 weeks. TLC's in a couple weeks.
Correct.
Jesus Christ, this is gonna kill my sling pattern wrestling. I don't know. Well, it'll be a mystery like Goldberg.
All right, we'll play it by ear then.
All right.
I'm not the James Ellsworth, really.
Oh, goodness gracious. James Ellsworth loves wrestling, Dan. If you want to be James Ellsworth, you have to love wrestling.
Well, they better put on some wrestling for me to love, then.
Good point. All right, anyways, Dan, thanks for coming out. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and until next time, we're going to have our Raw recap and our SmackDown show, of course, this week. And we should be back for everything this week, even though it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But we're gonna record some stuff in advance, and we'll see. You'll get what you'll get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Goodbye.